So in the laws of Eruv Tavshilin, we're continuing. 22 on page 301. Let's do 21. So that we said you gotta take an egg, a cooked item, you gotta take a baked item, and put them on the side, make a bracha, put them on the side. And with this, you'll be able to start cooking on Yom Tov for Shabbat. 21. One should preferably use the bread from Eruv Tavshilin as lechem mishnah during Shana Shishit. When you do third meal, Shishoyi, you should use the bread that you used from the Eruv Tavshilin. You should eat it and use it for the 2 loaves of bread for Shana Shishit. And you should eat the egg also. You should eat the cooked food on Shabbat as well. 22. Eruv Tavshilin should be made on Erev Yom Tov before Shkia. You should do it on Erev Yom Tov before sundown, before the sun goes down. 23. If one forgot to make Eruv Tavshilin, you could do it Ben Hashmashot. You could do it during twilight, before the emergence of 3 stars, with a bracha. If 24. If someone answered Baruch Hu and Arvit, but did not begin praying Arvit, he could still do Eruv Tavshilin if it's still within twilight, Ben Hashmashot. If somebody left shul without doing Eruv Tavshilin, and he cannot call somebody at home or return home without missing mincha with a minyan, he can do Eruv Tavshilin in a nearby house, in a neighbor's house. If possible, if not possible, one may make Eruv Tavshilin by saying the following text. Betavshil ploni, sheyesh li bebeiti, yeh mutar li levashel la'afod la'adlik ner miyom tov l'shabbat. A person can say that the food I have at home, you hear this? The guy is not home. He needs to do Eruv Tavshilin. So he's saying the certain food I have at home, with that food, that should be considered my Eruv Tavshilin, even though I'm not there right now. And that's valid. Preferably a person should also add, Ve'im lo yo'il Eruvei al den, Haneni somech al Eruv gadol ha'ir. And if that Eruv doesn't count, the one I just did by designating something at home, I'm relying on the Eruv of the Gadol ha'ir. The Gadol ha'ir is the rabbi of the city. Every rabbi of the community is supposed to make Eruv Tavshilin for his whole community. That way, anybody who forgot to make Eruv Tavshilin can rely on the rabbi's Eruv Tavshilin. Okay. 26. When Yom Tov is on a Thursday and Friday, and then Shabbat follows, the Eruv Tavshilin must be established on Wednesday, which is Erev Yom Tov. Thank you. However, if one forgot to make Eruv Tavshilin on Thursday, the first day of Yom Tov, he can go and you can do it on Yom Tov itself, Eruv Tavshilin. So you forgot to say it Erev Yom Tov, so on Wednesday, so you want to do it on Thursday, there's a possibility. How? Person must designate the food and stipulate. If today is actually Yom Tov, then tomorrow is a weekday, and no Eruv is required. And if today is actually a weekday and tomorrow is Yom Tov, the Eruv shall be effective. He then recites the text without saying a bracha, and like this, he could do cooking on Friday for Shabbat. Who has to do Eruv Tavshilin? So the head of the household has to do Eruv Tavshilin. 28. One who does not intend to perform actual melacha for Shabbat should make Eruv Tavshilin without a bracha. And this includes one whose only preparation for Shabbat is lighting candles. So here this is a very big question. People say, I'm not going to cook on Friday for Shabbat, on Yom Tov. So do I need to do Eruv Tavshilin? Yes, you should do Eruv Tavshilin without a bracha, because everyone prepares on Friday for Yom Tov. How? Everybody sets up the candles. Everyone sets up the candles, and the preparation for Shabbat is lighting the candles. What if you didn't make Eruv Tavshilin? Can you light the candles? Yeah, you're allowed to light the candles. So you don't have to be worried if you did do Eruv Tavshilin. But preferably, even if you're not going to cook, you still have to do Eruv Tavshilin. For this, that you're able to light the candles for Shabbat. 29. If somebody made Eruv Tavshilin and then was given all the food that he needs for Shabbat, no longer needs to prepare anything for Shabbat, he's not obligated to prepare something, so his bracha is not bracha vatala. Even if he didn't prepare anything in the end, he had everything cooked already, he's still considered a valid Eruv. Let's say you have married children or guests staying in your house. They are also included under your Eruv Tavshilin, and therefore they are able also to cook on Friday for Shabbat. 31. If one's guests are sleeping somewhere else, they should make their own Eruv Tavshilin in the place that they're sleeping. 32. A boy in yeshiva may rely on the Eruv Tavshilin as a Rosh Yeshiva. Same thing also, the girl in the seminary may rely on Eruv Tavshilin on the dean of the seminary. Okay, 33. A person is allowed to make Eruv for another person. However, for it to be valid, the Eruv Tavshilin must also be the legal property of the person who's being made. So let's say I want to do Eruv Tavshilin for Yosef Chaim. So I need to have Yosef Chaim's actual food with me in order to be able, it has to be legally his, in order to be considered a valid Eruv Tavshilin. How do you make somebody's food? Let's say it's my food and I want to make it his, to do Eruv Tavshilin for him. That person must lift the Eruv Tavshilin a tefach high. By lifting it, he acquires a share in the Eruv Tavshilin for everyone else who wants to be included. If an adult who's not a family member is unavailable, a family member may acquire the Eruv Tavshilin for everybody. After the individual lifted the Eruv Tavshilin a tefach high, the necessary people acquired their shares, then the person performing the Eruv Tavshilin should take it back and say the bracha with the following paragraphs. He should also say, Lanu l'chol Yisrael darim ba'ir, for ourselves and all the Jews who live in the city. No, from the table, from where it was. 34. One who does not have Eruv Tavshilin may not cook or perform melacha on Yom Tov for Shabbat. Furthermore, others who made an Eruv Tavshilin may not cook for him. So even if that guy did Eruv Tavshilin for himself, he can't cook for me because I didn't do one. 35. One who forgot to make Eruv Tavshilin or Eruv Tavshilin was lost, he may rely on his rabbi's Eruv Tavshilin. However, if he was negligent 2 times in a row, he may not rely on the rabbi's Eruv Tavshilin anymore. Okay, we'll stop over here. Baruch Amen.